Hey guys, how you doing? What do all those riffs have in common? Apart from the fact that they were never meant to be played on an acoustic guitar, of course, they all use the minor pentatonic scale, which is a hugely popular scale. And this lesson really is about teaching you what the scale is, how it's made up, what notes are in it, and just kind of showing you a position. We're not going to be learning licks and riffs and all that sort of stuff. Just want to show you what it is and kind of try and explain where it comes from, really. So the minor pentatonic scale, really for any guitar player, is hugely relevant and hugely important. You probably learn it before you even learn the major scale. Whether you should or not is another matter, but it is all the riffs you learn when you start out use, well, a lot of them, unless you're learning classical guitar, use that scale, and it's hugely relevant, particularly if you're kind of blues, rock or metal. It's used in so much stuff, so it's really important to learn and really worth kind of getting to grips with. So I'm going to talk just about in context of the natural minor scale, which if you've not come across, don't worry about it. It's not, you know, it is relevant, but we're not going to worry about it for this lesson. But I'm just going to talk about that a little bit first of all, because it helps show you the background. So the natural minor scale, we're going to do everything in A today because A minor is the guitarist's favourite key. A natural minor scale is made up of the following notes, and again, if you don't know your notes on the fretboard, don't panic. I'm going to come back and explain it a bit more. We've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay. Now those are the notes, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an octave. Okay. So we've got 8 notes, 7 different notes, if you like. Okay, and that gives us, now if we think a little bit more in terms of what the notes are in the key, again, if this is kind of weird language for you, don't panic, but it gives us root or 1, 2, minor third, 4th, 5th, minor 6th, minor 7th, octave. Okay, now if those terms aren't really something that makes any sense to you, the minor 6th and minor 7th, then don't worry too much. It is something that is definitely worth learning. And I've covered a bit of that in some of the theory videos, but just bear with me for now, because I'm just going to explain. That scale works really well over a minor tonality, okay, because it's a minor scale. The notes in the scale tend to fit with the chord, so it works nicely. If you can hear that sound, you can hear that it fits nicely. It's got a minor sound. So, all right, now. The pentatonic scale, think of it this way, it's the way I kind of think of it. Someone came along and took the minor scale and thought that's great, but we just want a bit less information. We want to take a little bit away to kind of create a different scale, and that's really what happened. So we're going to omit the second and the minor 6th note and just have 5 notes instead of the 7. 5 being penta, that's where it comes from. So that instead gives us root or 1, 3, minor third, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, flat 7, octave. So that's 1, minor third, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, flat 7, octave. Now as opposed to the pentatonic, the pentatonic sounds less fussy, possibly, I don't know, I'm not sure there's a word I can really think of that would explain that, but that's what it is. It's basically just taking 2 notes out, you've got a 5 note scale. Now, the reason that tends to work is because those notes can sometimes clash with your chord progression. Now, obviously that's another level of knowing what you're soloing over, but 90% of the time, if you're playing something in A minor, your minor pentatonic scale is gonna work, because we've taken out the kind of couple of notes that can sometimes slightly clash with the chord. Now obviously neither is a better alternative. I'm not saying one's better than the other, I'm just saying that there is an alternative. So we've got that. So I'm going to just take you through that shape on the fretboard. And so we're going to start at 5th fret on 6th string, okay? And then use my 3rd finger on 8th fret, 6th string. 5th string we're going to go fret number 5, then fret number 7. 4th string we're going to go fret number 5 and fret number 7. Okay, and that's our first octave. 2nd octave, we're going to keep going, get 2 octaves. I'm going from the octave at 7th fret, 4th string. I'm going to jump up to 3rd string and go 5 and 7. Then 2nd string and go 5 and 8. Then my top string, high E string, just 5. Okay, I'll go all the way up. 6th string, 5, 8. 5th string, 5, 7. 4th string, 5, 7. 3rd string, 5, 7. 5th string, 2nd string, 5, 8. And then your top high string on number 5. Then if you can, practice coming down. Okay. Now you might notice I'm not talking a lot about left hand movement here. I'm being a little bit cheeky with it. I'm tending to use the 3rd, the ring finger, instead of the little finger when I'm up the top. Okay, where I should be really using. Okay. Now there's a bit of an unwritten rule with the pentatonic scale. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It generally, I think, comes from the fact that 90%, probably more, of guitarists will use the finger per fret rule. Sorry, not that. So they use every finger available at all the time. However, because it's a 2-note, generally, well, it is a 2-note per string scale, we can get away with using the stronger 3rd finger. So when we're doing stuff like, or trills, stuff like that, it's easier to play with that way rather than using the generally weaker little finger. That's my theory, and it just tends to be the way it is. I know it breaks all the rules, but sometimes you just got to kind of go with it, and I just copied it off, you know, my heroes who I used to watch. I saw they always use your 3rd finger, and I just did that, which, you know, I think is still valid. So don't worry, you know, try and use the 3rd finger and I think that's fine. Alright, so that's the scale used there. Now obviously, as with any other scale on the guitar, you can move it around. You use it all over the neck. It's just a series of notes. Now that's something different we're not going to cover today. Okay, it's about learning the shapes. What I would say to you is try and learn the shape and learn the sound. The sound is just as important, if not more important, than anything else. Yes, of course, get your fingers used to using the shape, but you need to understand the sound. It needs to be in your head. But in summary, really, it's used, the minor pentatonic scale, because it tends to work over a bigger number of progressions. It tends to be an easier work to job than the actual minor scale. It tends to be an easier, I don't want to say better, you know, a more suitable choice, should we say, for the majority of chord progressions. And that's it. So that's my pentatonic scale. I hope you enjoyed it. Go and use it, learn some riffs, have some fun with it, and I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. It's been great, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.